monogram tag within Embrillance that you can use out on your embroidery machine. So we're going to create something just like this. You can use Stitch Artist drawing tools to create your own drawing, but today we're going to use the outlines that come in the Embrillance catalog. So let's first create a blank page, and we're going to open up those catalogs by dropping that down. I'm going to go to florals, but you have lots of different menus here you can choose from, and I'm going to choose floral number 9. And the first thing we're going to want to do is resize that. I'm going to go with about 4 inches. And I'm going to turn this so that I have an area that's good for putting 2 of those buttonholes, just like this right here. All right. So now I've got that the way I want it to be. I am going to copy this. And I'm just going to go Command Copy, Command Paste, and now I've got 2 lines. And that first line, what that is my placement line. So I'm just going to write that here. I don't normally do that, but I want you to know what it is. That is going to be stitched out on my stabilizer so I know where to put the fabric. And then this next line is going to be my tack down line. Now I'm going to put both a layer of foam and decorative fabric right on top of each other, so that's what that tack down. But I need my machine to stop, so depending on the type of machine, I'm going to just go ahead and change that color so it knows to stop. So now I've got my placement and my tack down. So I've got my fabric down, and I'm going to go ahead and monogram now. So just to make it easy, I'm going to grab this monogram here, copy that, and paste that here. So it's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make that a bit smaller. Center that on the hoop so I know that it's right in the middle of those flowers. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to do is I actually want to copy a floral again, because now that I've stitched that monogram out, I want to cover the back with another piece of fabric. So I'm going to copy and paste that, and that's going to be the tack down of the back. So I'm just going to write that on here. And now that I've got the back tacked on there, I would take the hoop off the machine and trim both of the top and the back fabric. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to my catalog. And again, I can draw this, but since they've drawn it for me, it's real easy. I'm going to grab a circle. And you can see that circle is pretty big. I'm going to go up here, and I'm just going to ask it to make it a 1/2 inch. And there we go. So I've got a little circle, and I'm going to move that circle up here, and I'm going to copy it and paste it. So now I have 2. Now if I wanted to do a single one, I would have just positioned my flower just to have 1 petal up at the top. I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to go up to Utility, and I'm going to align these vertically. And let me move this so you can see how they shift just ever so slightly to be perfectly aligned. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy 2 more of these florals. So Command Copy, I'm going to click down here, and I'm going to paste it twice. And this is going to be my satin stitch, and then I want to have a fancy little bean stitch to go on top. Not required, but it's a nice finishing touch. All right, so let's go up here and start assigning some stitches. So on my placement, I am just going to have that be a plain line stitch, and I do not want it bean, so I'm just going to have a single pass. Then I'm going to go to my next one, my tack down. Same thing, it's just going to be a line stitch, and it's a single. Now my monogram, I don't have to assign stitches. It's already letters, and I've already selected what kind of font it is. Now my tack down backing, I'm going to assign it a single stitch. Now my circles, I'm going to select both, and I'm going to make that a satin stitch. And what I'll do is I'll punch those holes out later. So that becomes my eyelet. Now I'm going to go my satin stitch. I gotta assign a satin stitch. Now I think that might be a little bit thin, so I'm going to go here to the width and make it a little bit thicker. And I can see that perhaps my holes might be a little close, so I'm going to select both of those and just arrow down a little bit. There we go. Now you could leave it there, but I like to add a bean stitch. And let me change some colors so that you can see what I'm talking about on this bean stitch. We'll assign this one. Will also be a line stitch, but here I'm going to drop that single down and I'm going to make it a bean, and I'm going to do a 3-pass. And on the color I'm going to make this white so that you can see it better. Oops. So you can see how that's a cute little decorative stitch. Now the reason I did all the copying and pasting after I sized and shaped my flower is I don't want to spend time aligning those multiple flower stitches. So make sure you do that first. And if you got to make some adjustments, select them all and do it together. Like I really need to move this monogram up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now you just go and take those steps inside your embroidery machine and you'll get a cute little tag. Hope that helps.